Hi guys, welcome to my channel Confessions of a Gaming Mum and welcome to pre-Sunday run. And I'm on my own again today because my running partner had a party that she'd forgotten about, so she's going to that. So back at the fort again. Well, technically we were going to run here today anyway because she hasn't run here in a while. But yeah, running on my own here. It'll be interesting because obviously we had Storm Eunice on Friday and so it's only 2 days ago, so I could already see like a huge chunk of tree that's been broken off in the wind. Yeah, be interested to see how it's gone around here. A lot of the stuff, like, we didn't really have much damage, so yeah, I'll be interested to see what it's like. It is quite windy. I woke up this morning and was listening intently to see if it was windy still when I woke up, and it didn't seem to be, so I got dressed, and then as I was leaving the house I was like, wow, it sounds really gusty, for fuck's sake. So I'm gonna try it, and as you can tell I am like really bunged up again, but hopefully the fact I'm taking multivitamins, Bubs is taking multivitamins, my husband's taking multivitamins, so hopefully it means that none of us will get like really sick. It just means that we'll have like annoying coughs and bunged up noses and stuff instead. So we're not gonna like really come down with stuff like we used to. But we'll see, because my nose is really pissing me off. But anyway, let's see how we get on. So I thought it was a branch. There's actually a whole tree that's come down. Hi guys, so apologies I didn't do a post-run vlog, but needed to head home because my husband texted me to say that Bubs had woken up. He'd come in with us, he'd wet his bed at like 3 o'clock this morning, so then he came in with us and then he wet our bed. So basically I wanted to just rush home and stop my husband from having a mental breakdown. So yeah, so I had to rush home for that. But it was a good run. It was definitely much improved on the last few that I've done in terms of, like, my main goal today was, don't care what my pace is, don't care how fast I run it, I just want to be able to run and not have to stop, because the last few times I've run I've had to stop several times from like either feeling sick or my calves were hurting or whatever. So yeah, that was the main goal today, and yeah, I did it. Yay. Other than the fact that obviously you'll see I did stop to take a little bit of video of the tree along the path, but yeah, other than that, but that was just to take a video of that rather than me stopping because I felt tired or anything. So I don't think they're the best times that I have. Like I said, I was consciously trying to stop myself from running faster when I started, to make sure that I didn't knacker myself out for the first kilometre and then have to constantly stop. So obviously the biggest difference for me was the fact I was actually able to run up the hill that I have just at the beginning of the second kilometre, and I didn't have to stop. My calves were absolutely screaming at me when I got to the top, but I just, like I said, I just ran at a very slow pace until I was able to catch my breath. My calves stopped like hating me and I could just run at a normal pace. I was listening to Real Life Ghost Stories again. I think if I listen to a podcast, I've been really unmotivated in terms of not feeling music while I'm running. So I think I prefer to have music if it's like maybe really bad weather or I just want to run faster. But when it comes to actually just getting out there and running and just doing just doing the run, and not caring about pace, I find a podcast really helps, because I don't know, it just helps me not run so fast. I think if I have music, I try and keep up with the pace of the music, and that can sometimes like obviously knacker me out. See, I was listening to my ghost podcast today, which was really good, and it was a really interesting one actually about hellfire caves and stuff. So my times were okay, but like I said, I also run 4 kilometers rather than 5 because it was still exceptionally windy today, and for a lot of the run I was just literally pushing against the wind again. So it weren't as bad as it has been, but it's still really hard, and it took a lot out of me. And every so often I just have to try and catch my breath, which isn't great when you're trying to run. But overall, it was a very good run, so I'm pleased that I did it. But anyway, so I'm here to talk about also the shop haul for the week. It's a very small shop. We've actually started looking into budgeting. Like, we're properly sort of sitting down and actually going through what we spend each month to try and see what we would actually have left if we consciously just didn't sort of like go out like randomly for coffees or lunch or whatever, and we actually budgeted like weekends what our spend should be. Like I said, budgeting what we spend each week on our shopping and stuff, to actually see if we have anything left, so we can either put it in savings or we can look at what we're actually looking at doing is not adding extra onto what we pay off on our mortgage, but we're looking to, our current mortgage lender does is you can actually pay off a big chunk as long as it's not more than 10% of the value of your mortgage. You can pay off like a big chunk, and it just instantly brings down your, obviously how much you're having to pay. It also brings down, I think you still pay the same interest, but obviously it means that you'll be paying less interest over time. So, but if you were to start making overpayments on your mortgage, their interest will increase to reflect that, so that obviously they don't miss out. So it's actually works out better in the long run for us if we were to save up like, say like £5,000 over like a year or something, and then at the end of the year pay off £5,000. That works out better for us than us saying like we could pay off like £500 extra a month sort of thing to try and sort of do that. So that's what we're currently doing. We're just actively going through our budget and just seeing what, if there's anything we can actually spare sort of thing. But anyway, so yeah, this, I'm just again going off on a tangent. So our budget for our weekly shop I've put at £75 just to see if it's physically possible for us to do that. I mean, this week has cost us like £54. It's not cost us a lot at all. It's quite a small shop, and you know when you have that feeling that I've forgotten something. I don't think I have, but I have a feeling I might have done. We'll see as the week goes along, I guess. But I think there's a lot of things that I've looked at and I was like, well, we have that already, so we don't therefore need to buy more. And I think also that's what I've been doing. I've been like, well, we have a week's worth of this left there, but I will still buy some more just to sort of fill up the cupboards. So I'm not doing that. I'm physically looking, saying, right, if we have absolutely nothing of something, then I'll buy it. But if we still have like 1 week's worth left, then I'll leave it for the next shop sort of thing. So next week might actually be a really big shop. I don't know. So we'll just see what happens, I guess. But anyway, so this is what I've got for this week. Like I said, it was £54 for the whole lot. I can still remember the good old days when that was like average for like every week. But anyway, I'm just going off on a tangent again. So this is our shop for the week. Okay, starting over here. So my husband's got his beetroot falafel that he loves so much. He's managed to get 2 packs of his favourite soy yogurts. He's also got his garlic Kievs, vegan Kievs that he loves. Some hummus for his lunch. We've got his vegan chicken and mushroom pie. We got Bub's his yogurts. They seem to be splitting them up. I don't know if that's just to fit them in the crate, but yeah, they're all there. It's all present and correct. My mozzarella for Bub's pizzas that he's loving at the moment. I've got mature cheddar. I've had to get full fat mature cheddar this week because the half fat they didn't actually have. So just for, that's why there's only 1 bag, otherwise I would have bought 2. But yeah, I've had to get just 1 bag. Hopefully we can get more next week. We'll just have to see. This is all our Oatly for the week. I've got my husband's rocket baby leaf salad that he loves as well. I've got 4 of these, and I realised that I had one that I was actually saving for this week last night, so may have to go shopping and get some more of them so I don't actually miss out on a yogurt this week. Over here, I only had to buy 1 of these this week because I didn't have the second one that I had for last week, so it's good because that saved a little bit of money. Got some onions, got some oregano and some smoked paprika because I was running out. Got some chicken breast mini fillets as well. I'm definitely getting the 400 grams one now. 650 grams I think is just a bit too much. I've got 12 eggs, but I should have got to 18. I completely forgot to add an extra 6 on there, so I'm going to be a bit short this week. But we're heading out today, so I think we're going to try and pick up an extra carton while we're out. Got our whole wheat fusilli pasta, got all the beans for my chili. This was the only substitute we had, so normally we get Bub's the strawberry ones, but instead they only had the raspberry ones, but I don't think he really notices anyway. Got some tortillas because, again, from wheat, because Bub's has been having a lot of his pizzas. My husband has these like every day for his lunch, so it means he's missing out on a lot because we only get earth and wheat delivery every other week. So yeah, so we've had to start getting them. I don't know if that's the thing, it's like because he just has the wraps, I don't think it's worth us going every week with earth and wheat because I think all the other stuff we barely touch. It's mainly these that just go out quite quickly. Yeah, it wouldn't be worth it for us, and I think it'd be too expensive anyway because it's like $6.99. I think per week that would just be a bit much, like I said, especially because we don't eat all the bread. The main thing that goes is just the wraps, so I don't mind just buying these for now. So we got some fig rolls for my husband, more of the strawberry bites. We're trying to cut down how much Bubs has of these. I know it doesn't look it because we've got like 5 packs, but he's just getting a bit silly with them, like I said in my last video, where he just keeps constantly kicking off about things, and he can get through 3 of these a day, like 3 of these bags, and if he doesn't get them, like if we don't let him have them, he will majorly kick off. So like we'll try and give him like sandwich and he's like, no, I want strawberries, and it's like, no, you need to have your lunch first, and then he'll just kick off because he wants strawberries, sort of thing. So he's got this little obsession with them, so we're trying to make it that he'll only have 1 a day, because then hopefully it means we don't have to buy so many, and also it means that he'll just calm the fuck down about having them. He'll get used to only having them once a day. I don't really want to cut them out because where he's not having raisins, they're a nice healthy snack for him to have. So yeah, so it's just one of those things we just have to try and figure out what we can do about it. Got some of these because he actually likes these ones. We did get him the apple and strawberry ones, but he keeps saying they're too sour, so we've got him apple and mango because I think he liked those ones, so we're going to give them a go again. Got some popcorn because I was running out. Husband's crisps. Got some vegan chocolate for the chili. Bought some cooking apples because I want to try and make an apple crumble with Bubs this week. I think I want to try and make that a thing. If we've not really got anything on, I want to try and do some cooking with him because he absolutely loves it. The cookies we made on Friday, it turned out okay, but he didn't really have to do much other than some mixing, so I think he would actually really enjoy this because he has to make like the crumble, so it means he can really get into like the pastry and do stuff. So I can chop up the apples for him and he can make the crumble. I also have a red pepper which goes in my chili, and I've also gone back onto prawns. So what I'm going to do is, I don't think I made a thing of it last week, I'm gonna have to try and remember, but I made myself some like egg fried rice, but I tried to make it into special fried rice. So I added like chicken in there, peas, like different things. So this week I'm going to try and be even more sort of ambitious. So I'm going to add prawns instead of chicken. I'm still going to add the peas in there. I'm going to add some onion and garlic and see if I can make it like a full dish, because it was really tasty. It was really nice, quite easy to make as long as you've made the rice beforehand. So yeah, so I just want to see what that's like, just trying to get up my protein and lower my calories sort of thing. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, all of this came to £54. So it's not too bad. Like I said, it's more like going to see what it will actually look like next week when I probably have more to actually buy. But anyway, I need to put this away. That's a pterodactyl, yeah.
More dinosaurs.
Well, you got one on my leg. What's that one?
It's Spinosaurus.
That's not a Spinosaurus. It swims.
And that's Spinosaurus.
No.
What's that? T-Rex.
T-Rex. Hi guys, so it's Thursday. Hopefully you can hear me over my washing up and the washing machine going. I've been meaning to vlog the last few days, but because I've been like busy trying to get stuff done, not got around to it. So a few things has happened. So Monday was a very busy day. We went and bought a new car. Basically, we have like a payment plan on our current car, which was like basically we pay set fee. We paid a deposit originally on the car, and then we paid a set amount of money, 4 years, and then after those 4 years we either pay off the car in one lump sum, or we can basically trade it in for another car. So what we were planning to do is actually go for, even though we absolutely love our car, and I absolutely love it, and I'll be really sad to see it go because it's been a brilliant car the last 4 years, we decided to upgrade to a bigger car because it's not a big boot at all in the car that we've got. As it showed when we put Bub's buggy in it when we first got it, and we were just like, yeah, it's like literally the only thing then that fits in the boot. So the car we're getting is much bigger, it's a much bigger boot, all the mod cons in terms of what our car has, but it was kind of like a bit more slower, like the tech was just a bit slower. Got tinted windows at the back, which is good for Bubs in the summer, and like, yeah, just loads of different things that the car we have now doesn't currently have. It was almost double the price of the car that we've got, but because we paid off more than half the car basically in the 4 years, and we were able to use that as a deposit for the new car, because I think I said before we were well, I wasn't worried. I think my husband was more apprehensive of the fact that we probably would have to pay a deposit to get the new car because of the price of it. So we'd have to give like a deposit as well as trading in our car. But when we spoke to the salesperson, they were like, oh no, because you've paid off so much and because it's a car that's worth quite a bit anyway, because it's only 4 years old and it's in really good condition because we've looked after it. It's meant that we don't have to pay a deposit in order to be able to get the monthly rate down. So basically got the same deal in terms of 4 years paying the same fee, and then obviously at the end of those 4 years we get to decide if we keep the car and therefore pay it off, or if we trade it in for another one. And originally, like the one that we test drove, because we got to test drive when they had it actually in the garage at the time, and it was an automatic. I've never driven an automatic before, so I let my husband drive, and he absolutely loved it. He said it was absolutely brilliant. He said it would take a lot of getting used to getting back into automatic, and I was just really apprehensive because I've never driven an automatic before. Went back to the showroom, and the guy was talking to us about payment plans and different things, and we actually asked him about the whole difference between automatic and manual, because normally automatics are more expensive. Well, we just like kind of gathered that automatics are more expensive because they're more of a premium, I guess, car. And when we asked him, like, is there a difference? And he said he said the automatics on that particular car, basically we're getting a Dacia Duster. And he said the only difference between the automatic, or the reason the automatic is more expensive in the Duster, is because it's the bigger engine. They don't put the smaller engine in an automatic. But with the manual, you have the option of a smaller engine and the bigger engine. So we were talking to him about prices and stuff, and he said, like, if you were to go with the automatic, it will cost you this much a month. And basically it was £50 more than what we're paying now, which was basically the top, like, sort of that I'd want to budget for, because I was like, well, we're paying enough for this car, I don't really want to have to pay out a load more. I'd just rather go for a different car. So he was like, okay, fine, we'll look at the manual and see what the manual car is going for, and he put it all through his system with like value of our car and everything, and it actually came back £5 more than what we're paying now. So we were like, wow, okay, so we'll go with that then. So basically we're getting pretty much the same car that we test drove, but it's a manual, which I'll be a lot happier with. And also it means it's a small engine as well. I think our engine at the moment is 0.9 litre, I think, engine that we've got in our car now. But the Duster has, because at the moment we've got the Dacia Sandero Laureate, but the one we're getting is the Duster Prestige, which is like their top one, I think. But it's a smaller engine, it's like a 1 litre engine instead of like whatever it was, I can't even remember. But the it was the smaller engine, but bigger than the engine that we have in our car currently. So obviously we were really happy. He told us we wouldn't have to put a deposit down, which was great. We just had to put our car in. So that was fantastic. So basically we've got a brand new car worth almost twice as much as the car that we've got now, but we're not really paying much more for it. The only thing we're paying extra for, i.e. insurance, which I was kind of like, I kind of want it because it will put my mind at rest. It's like an insurance for like, almost like paint protection, because even though we have been very careful and we have looked after our car in the 4 years that we've had it, there are a few like little dents and scrapes. There's like 4. There's one from literally last summer, I think we went out, it was quite windy, and I opened the passenger door and the wind caught the door as I was opening it, and it hit. I think it was my dad was parked next to me, and I think the wind caught his door. But I was opening my dad's door on his car, and the wind caught it and it knocked into our like passenger car door. So it didn't take off any paint, it just left like a little dent. There was, my husband scuffed the alloy on one of the tyres. He went up a curb a couple of weeks ago because he got distracted by something. And like just different things like that, just little things that you can't, like little knocks and scrapes that you can't really sort of help. And like the salesman said, he said, considering you have a toddler and like you've had this car for 4 years, he said, you've not done too bad. He said, believe me, I've seen a lot worse. So he said, so obviously that's taken like a couple of hundred off the value because they'll have to fix it before they can resell the car. So yeah, so he said if you have this insurance, then it means that it will cover you for, I think he said like six of these a year or something, 6 like little dents or scrapes or whatever a year, as long as it's like less than 30 centimetres or something, and not across 2 panels. And I thought because it's a much bigger car than what I'm used to, it would just put my mind at rest for us to have this insurance, just to make sure. We've gone for it, and it's put our payments up by like £15. So in total we'll be paying £20 more for this car than what we're paying now. All we've had to do is put down a £250 deposit just to secure the sale and the price that we're selling the car for and the price that we're buying this new car for. So the only thing now is a matter of waiting. He's put down that the new car won't be available until end of August. Our contract ends with our current car, July I think. So, but he said what will happen is obviously they understand the fact that like with current things, like because he said the main thing at the moment is getting the microchip for the car. So he said so that's what tends to hold things back, as well as like with COVID and everything. So he's put it down as 31st of August, but it might come in earlier, so we'll just have to see. But he said obviously if the car is later than when our contract is supposed to be with this car, we get to keep this car and still keep making the same payments on it until our car turns up. So it's not so bad. Because again, my husband was worried about that. He was worried that they were going to be like, right, well, your contract ends for this car, so therefore we take this car. Not our problem that your car's not ready, so then we'd be without a car for like several weeks or whatever. But they're like, no, you get to keep your old car until the new car turns up, so then we just do a simple swap. So that's all good. The other thing that happened on Monday was Bubs had his jabs. They're like the big ones, I think, that he's supposed to have for when he goes to school, which obviously he's not. But it's like, I don't know, I think it's MMR is one of them, but he basically had them in both arms. And he was quite nervous about going in because like we said, oh, you're just going to go and have some medicine at the doctor's. It's going to be fine, you'll be fine. You can have some chocolate when you come out, sort of thing. And it was okay. And then all of a sudden he went in the room and I think the woman was a bit intimidating that did his jabs. So he was a bit apprehensive, and then literally as soon as we took his coat off and she was like, oh no, you're gonna have to take his top off because he's in a long sleeve top and I need to do both arms. So we're like, oh great. And he normally kicks off anyway when you try and get him dressed or whatever when he doesn't want to. It's a nightmare. So yeah, that was fun. So like it kind of reminded me, like, because obviously she was like, you're gonna have to hold him down so I can do these jabs, and I was like, I'm trying, don't not think I'm not trying. It kind of reminded me of the scene in Girl Interrupted, if anyone's ever seen it, with Angelina Jolie when she is fighting with all the staff when they're trying to give her an injection.
No! Lisa! Get her legs! Get her feet!
Get up!
It was kind of like that. And that's the thing, he kicked off more about having to take his top off than he did about actually having the jab. The jab, he watched her put it in, he watched her do the injection, and he didn't freak out. He was freaking out the fact that we took his top off, that was it. But then we gave him some chocolate and he was fine. But the only problem is now is that he's obsessed with that chocolate. I bought him some like chocolate caramel Cadbury's Froggo ones, because I thought that'd be a nice treat for him after like his jabs or whatever. But now he's kind of like frog chocolate, and now he's got this like nice red rash come up on his arm. I'm a bit worried about it, so I'm gonna try and look it up because I would hope that sort of thing would have gone down by now. He refuses to take the plasters off, which probably doesn't help either. Because there was quite a bit of blood, I think, because where he was struggling so much, he might have caught him with the needle. I don't know. But yeah, so it's just trying to take those bloody plasters off because they're stuck on fast. And he refuses to let. I was going to take them off in the bath the other day when obviously they'd get wet and so be a little bit looser, but he was like, nope, not interested. But yeah, obviously no more heartbeeps, so heartbeeps didn't happen on Tuesday. I have found swimming classes, but I think what I might do is leave them till after we've done Florence, because I don't see the point in getting him sort of just getting settled into classes for like a month and then we go away for a month. I don't see the point, so I'll leave it till after, especially because we also want to look into his piano classes again. It says that. But there's also like, yesterday I was meant to do a stream because it was Wednesday and I just couldn't do it because we had the worst day with Bubs. It was ridiculous. I've never known him to be so bad. It literally was a day-long tantrum and he just would not stop, and me and my husband just didn't know what to do. I think both of us had like panic attacks, anxiety attacks, like the lot. We just didn't know what to do, and we were just both exhausted at the end of the day, just couldn't cope at all. So I just really hope that this phase that he's in, I don't know why he's all of a sudden like this, but I just really hope it ends quickly because I just don't know how to handle it. It's nice because I put on like in my sort of depths of despair, I put a message on to say like I'm not streaming because I was just exhausted, and the fact that I felt like I just obviously wasn't cut out to be a mum, because you always see like mums coping really well with tantrums, and like the fact that they like know how to resolve them and sort of not lose their temper and stuff, and I just can't do that. And then you have all these mums like that I know that have been getting in touch saying, no, you're not the only one, we've all been there and stuff. So it's sad to know that obviously I know some girls that have gone through that similar stuff, but it's also a relief to know that I'm not alone in it. So, but anyway, it is horrible weather today, so glad I don't have to go out in it. Hopefully it gets better before we have to go and pick Bubs up. My husband is currently out taking Bubs to nursery. So I am going to spend the rest of the day, or while Bubs is at nursery, I'm going to try and get as much of mine and Rosie's video done as possible. Do my Duolingo. I passed 50 days in a row yesterday. I was really pleased with myself, and I passed the first checkpoint as well. So yeah, really pleased with myself, doing really well with it. I've got up to the chapter of Akhenaten in my book yesterday, which I'm really pleased about as well. It's really interesting. I found the first 2 chapters quite a struggle. They were about Khufu and Senwosret, I think that's how you say his name, Senwosret III. Khufu obviously I know because he built the Great Pyramid. Senwosret III isn't a name I know, but I don't really know much about him. Or the only thing I knew about him was he was the pharaoh whose statues were quite realistic, because a lot of Egyptian statues aren't as realistic. They tend to be more idealized. But he was the one that had like lines, aged lines on his face, and really big ears. He always has like really big ears. Cara Cooney, whose book I'm reading, Good Kings, says that she thinks that those ears aren't like his natural sort of like satellite ears. They were just basically sort of him sending sort of like a warning to all his elites to say that I can hear everything you say about me, so watch what you say. So yeah, it was interesting, but yeah, it was a really hard slog the first 2 chapters, because it was like she was just really jumping to conclusions a lot, because there isn't a lot of like documentation about Khufu or Senwosret. There's more like documentation about people around them, like people that came before or after or whatever. So yes, so she jumps to a lot of conclusions, and I'm sitting there reading it, I'm like, that's just your interpretation of things. I kind of don't really, I'm not too convinced sort of thing that what you're saying is really what happened. I think that's just you putting your own sort of beliefs onto them at the time. But with Akhenaten, there is a lot more documentation and research and stuff on him, so yeah, it's a bit easier for her to actually use facts that are actually out there to be able to like come up with her theory and stuff. So yeah, it's really interesting to read it. Although she, currently, because what she does is she looks at like the previous pharaohs that came before, and obviously Akhenaten was apparently the son of Amenhotep III, who was seen as a really good king. So she's talking about Amenhotep III, and then how massively contrasted to his father Akhenaten was, because he was originally called Amenhotep IV, but then he changed his name to Akhenaten because he brought through the art and religion and stuff like that. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what she thinks. And then the chapter after that is about my favourite pharaoh, which is Ramses the Great. So it'll be interesting to see what she says about that. But yeah, it's starting to, I think as well, I was trying to get used to her style of writing. But yeah, I actually found myself getting really into it yesterday. So I'm pleased with that. I'm glad I'm keeping up with both my Italian learning and my reading, trying to read a chapter every day. I've not been reading a chapter every day, but I've been reading a chapter most days. I have to say, I've given up with learning like other languages. Greek has fallen by the wayside, Spanish has fallen by the wayside, and Latin has fallen by the wayside. I'm just mainly concentrating on Italian. But I still have the other ones open. Maybe I'll come back to them at another point when I've like sort of completed my Duolingo stuff on Italian. I can then dabble in something else. We'll see. But anyway, I've spent long enough talking, so I am going to head upstairs and get on with stuff. So see you later. Making some more pizza. Beep beep. You know what, I'm so glad I found this angle now, because it means I can multitask. I can talk to you guys as well as washing up while I'm doing it. Anyway, hello, it's Saturday. Bubs is currently at rugby with the husband. Much easier getting him off to no, I keep saying nursery, rugby this morning. He wore his top. He was happy to wear his top this morning. Didn't kick off like he did last time. He wouldn't wear his shorts, but we gave him the option. We said, do you want to wear them or do you not want to wear them? And he said, no, I don't want to wear them today. And we were like, okay, that's fine. You can just go in your trousers. So, but he was happy wearing the top. So, progress. I don't know. I don't know if it's just like, we just have to see how he goes each week. We just have to see. I haven't checked the footage. Yesterday, I tried to take some footage in the car of me and Bubs just as we were leaving one of our first big, it actually was our first big home ed meetup. There was over 20 home eders there with their kids at a soft play local to us. Didn't really talk to a lot of them. To be honest, I was a bit like quite anxious while I was there for the first sort of half an hour because got there, like got inside, could very much tell who the home eders were. Not saying it in a bad way, but you could tell who they were. And they were kind of like, we're all in their little groups, turned around to look to see who else had come in. Obviously, because I wasn't someone they knew, they kind of just went on about their day, just like pretending I wasn't there sort of thing, which I was really sort of upset about because I was kind of like, I've come all this way. Well, I've come all this way, it's not far. But I've built myself up to come to this to meet new home eders, to try and sort of build that social circle, and no one's reaching out because they don't know me. They're not making any effort. And to me, that was just a massive sort of disappointment in terms of, especially because you have the whole thing of like, it's one of the biggest hurdles they say of if you homeschool, your kid's going to miss out socially. And yeah, it's kind of like you'd expect home eders to be a bit more sort of reaching out to people that are clearly new and not sure on how things work. But yeah, so I was very anxious at first when we got there. Bubs was fine, he was just running around playing. I was just waiting for the one home eder that I did know that I've met a couple of, well, this will be the second time we actually met, but we've spoken loads on WhatsApp and stuff. So I was just waiting for her to turn up with her little boy. And she was a little bit late because she wasn't having a good day with him. So the relief when she actually turned up. But she introduced me to one home eder because her little boy now goes to a forest school because he's just turned 4. And so she's starting to get to know more home eders. And yeah, it's kind of like, you can tell some of them are a little bit socially awkward. Yeah, but it was nice to meet some more home eders. So mostly, yeah, I just hung around with her, and Bubs was really, I was just really pleased that Bubs was actually then playing with her son, because before he wasn't really making that much of an effort. He was kind of like, well, I'm just going to go play by myself. When they last sort of met, when they met for the first time. But yeah, this time they had the absolute blast, just running around soft play, playing together. Bubs did get a bit rough and tumble, so I had to pull him up a few times about it, because he still doesn't really have a filter when it comes to play fighting. But yeah, I think in general they had a really good time together, and they were like hugging at the end, saying goodbye to each other, so that was really nice. But yeah, I was queuing up for food randomly. My friend was upstairs. I think she was like taking her son to the potty or something. So I was getting lunch for me and Bubs, and there was a woman in front of me who asked, oh, are you with the toddler group or are you with the home ed group? And I said, well, my son is a toddler, but I'm here with the home ed group because we're looking to home school, like, well, we're just starting the whole sort of thing, even though we wanted to do it for a while. He's obviously only just starting to get to the age where it would actually be something we actively participate in. And she introduced herself as the one that had actually organised the whole event. She was really nice. She introduced me to 2 other home eders that were there, and she was talking about another local, well, not so local, it's quite far out, I think it's closer to where my sister is than anything, but she was like, oh yeah, it's like a wilderness sort of school, so it's like in the forest sort of thing. And she said it's so much better in terms of there's no age limit, so you can like take your son along. Because I said the only annoying thing we find at the moment, we're really wanting to get into like the home ed stuff and like all the groups and everything, but because he's still 3, he's still too young. Like they're saying like minimum age of 4 or 5, and she was like, oh no, there's no minimum age on this one, because obviously you have like siblings of older homeschoolers that are there and stuff. So she was like, yeah, you're more than welcome to come along. So I need to try and find that group, because I remember where it was, I just can't remember the name that she said it is, so I need to try and find it. So yeah, so she was really nice, but I felt really bad because again, my friend went off with her son at one point just as the food turned up for me and Bubs, and I had to go and look for Bubs because he'd gone off to play. So I was trying to look for him, and she called me over. She was like, oh, I want to introduce you to everyone. And I was like, and she was like, oh no, I realise you're trying to find your son for food. And I was like, yeah, really sorry. And then never went back to her. But I think she was doing the rounds and like just talking to different people and stuff. So yeah, I felt really bad because it would have been a really nice opportunity for me to like get to know a few more people. But yeah, never got the opportunity then to go back. But overall, I guess it was really nice. Really nice thing to do. I'm glad I did it. It was nice to see, like I said, my friend. I've not seen her for a couple of weeks because we've had to keep cancelling our bloody home ed days and stuff because of things happening or like plans having to change. But hopefully we're seeing each other in a couple of weeks again, so we'll just have to see. But yeah, so yesterday was good. Bubs had a great time. We tried a new theory or like test with him yesterday where, again, this is like what my home ed friends told me to do, where basically we give Bubs his main meal as his lunch. So basically when we went to the soft play yesterday, I got him like sausage and chips because that's what I would have had for dinner at home anyway on a Friday night. So that's what we did. And he ate most of it, but because he was too busy playing, but he kept coming back having a chip and then running off sort of thing. And then of an evening, you just give him like a sandwich or something when he's in his pyjamas, and you get him into his pyjamas like when my husband finishes work, and then he just gets to wind down for a little bit and then try and get him into bed for around 7 o'clock, so he's like literally asleep at 7. Because where he's been waking up at 6, we just think he's just so tired, he's so knackered by the end of the day. That's when his tension seemed to really kick off. So yes, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make it that we can try and get him into bed that little bit earlier and just let him wind down a bit more, so he's just not so much of a pain. It didn't work last night. It worked okay, but because he was a lot more chilled while we were having dinner sort of thing. He had, like, I'd done him a few chips because I'd done my husband burger and chips, and I just knew, like, if he saw that my husband had burger and chips and he didn't, he would kick off. So yeah, so he had a few chips, but he was really good. But it was just that, like, my husband tried to get him then off to sleep. He was quite wired because I think he had that nap in the car on the way back from the soft play. So we'll try it again tonight, although tonight might be a bit more of an issue because obviously on Saturday night that's when we have our takeaway. That's our takeaway night, so I don't know what we'll do about that. But he's also got a party today, which I have to go up and bloody wrap the present for that, so I need to try and get that done quick before they get home. But yeah, we'll give it a go. But lastly, before I sign off this video, 2 things, mostly based around one thing. Started my period yesterday. I know you wanted to know that information. So I've been trying the reusable sanitary towels, like the cloth ones. Yeah, so try the new cloth ones, and they are amazing. They feel so nice. Not like you've got a big like sheet of plastic just shoved in your knickers. So I know you wanted to know that information, but yeah, I would highly recommend them. They are super comfortable. Obviously I need to wash them, see how that goes. But yeah, overall, like, first impressions are they are super comfortable, really nice, super absorbent and stuff. So yeah, happy with those. The other thing around that is the fact that I was doing really well with my weight this week. Really well. I think I lost almost 4 pounds. No, I lost about 3 pounds in the space of like 2 days. Like, it was just coming off. I wasn't doing anything different. It was just what was happening. I guess it was just that time of the month, like the weight started coming off. So I was like, oh, excellent. That's really good. Weighed myself this morning and I'm nearly 4 pounds heavier than I was when I weighed myself yesterday. So as you can imagine, that's really fucking annoying, because now it's, when I look at like what I weighed last Saturday, because obviously I'm still comparing Saturday to Saturday, I'm just getting the information during the week so I can see what sort of changes I go through, or like the fluctuations I go with my weight. And you know, when I look at Saturday to Saturday, it's not as bad. It's like I've gained half a pound or something. But when I look at like yesterday I was I'd gained, I think, nearly a pound or like half a pound, because I was 166.6, all the sixes, on Wednesday. And then I was 167.2 on Thursday. I was 166.6 on Thursday, 167.2 yesterday, and then I weighed myself this morning and I was 170.9, and it's just like, what the fuck? I'm hoping it's just because I've just retained a lot of water because I've started my period, although I don't ever remember that being the case. I always thought that when I came on my period that I lost weight because of losing stuff. But then I kind of started quite late in the day yesterday, so I don't know if that's kind of not helped. But yeah, so quite annoying. And it's not as if, like, yesterday was kind of a bit of an off day in terms of food as well. It wasn't a usual day because I had lunch at the soft play and I had pasta, and it was quite a big bowl of pasta, but that's why I had that, because the only other things that you could have was either pizza or burger and chips. So I went for the healthiest option. So maybe that was that, I don't know. I had my turkey burger because I defrosted it the day before, but what I did is I actually made myself egg fried rice, mixing in, like, I chopped up or mashed up the turkey burger in the egg fried rice, because that seemed like quite a good option. But again, it was just, yeah. So I don't know. I'm hoping it's just water retention. We'll have to see tomorrow, I guess, when I weigh myself to see what happens. Although obviously tonight, like I said, it's takeaway night, so it might not be as good as I'd like it to be, but we'll see. We'll just see how it goes. Like I said, I'm not trying to beat myself up about it. It's just one of those really annoying things where it's like, you know, when you're doing really good and you've got that goal in mind in terms of, oh, I'd like to hit like 165, because that's the weight I was before Christmas, like literally the week before Christmas. That was the lightest I was, and I haven't got back to that yet because of all the weight I put on over Christmas. So yeah, I really wanted to lose that at some point, like get back to that point, but it's just turning out to be a real struggle. So yeah, I was literally like 1.5 pounds away from that, and now all of a sudden I've gained like 4 pounds, and I'm so annoyed. So yeah, I'm just hoping next week will be the week that it happens, but we'll see. But anyway, like I said, I need to end this video because I need to go and wrap up a present for a birthday party we have today. So it was lovely to speak to you guys. So I hope you like this new angle. It's not as unflattering as I thought it might be. But yeah, if you did enjoy this video, then please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. You can also follow me on social media, all the links will be down below. And on that note, I'll say love you guys, and I shall see you on the next video. Bye.